appreciate the gentleman yielding. I just wanted to follow up with Chief Cochran again. When you were dismissed, again, I want to go back to the statement made by the City Council member, Mr. Wan, who said you have to check your beliefs at the door. I think the First Amendment says, no, you don't. But it looks like you actually did, right? When they investigated you, they found no discrimination. They could find no witnesses who said you ever did anything wrong in how you handled your operation at the department. Is that accurate?
That's accurate. I just, as an American and as a person of faith, I believe that our country has provided an opportunity for us to live out our faith and have our jobs at the same time. In the fire service, I believe it's a special calling on a person's life to do what we do for a living. And based upon the fact that what the fire service does for its communities is rooted in our Constitution, and there's a clause in the preamble of the United States of America that is very fitting for the American Fire Service, in fact, all public safety agencies, where it says, ensure domestic tranquility. And in the fire service, all men and women are called to ensure domestic tranquility. And on that basis, anyone who believes in that calling on their life, it's very easy to develop a doctrine whereby we all have a consensus agreement on how we should be towards one another and how we should be towards any people group within the scope of our community. So the Atlanta Fire Rescue Doctrine that I continue to talk about developed a vision statement based upon all the input from all the people groups on a strategic planning team that was developed when I took office. Two of those members happened to be members of the LGBT community that was a part of that process. We also developed a mission statement, and we developed core values that any firefighter under any demographic should actually embrace. One of those core values was we committed to have an ism-free environment at work, which meant that all of us have an obligation to assure that there's no racism, sexism, nepotism, or any other ism that would interfere with our duty to one another.
I think everyone needs to understand what happened here.
Yes.
City Council said you have to check your beliefs at the door. The First Amendment says you do not. But you, in fact, didn't do anything wrong in your employment, and you actually went further. You developed a policy working with people of different beliefs in your department to come up with this Atlanta Fire Rescue Doctrine.
Yes.
And still, so understand again, check your beliefs at the door. No, the First Amendment says you don't have to do that. You didn't do anything to proselytize change. You didn't do any of that. Everyone interviewed said no wrong conduct here at all. And you went the extra step of developing a doctrine that says we're going to be inclusive, and still they terminated your employment because something you believed and wrote outside your responsibilities as fire chief, and you were fired for that.
Yes, sir.
If that doesn't underscore why we need this legislation, Mr. Chairman, I don't know what does.